All right, here we are, started day 12. We stayed at Brown Fork Shelter last night. Temperatures did pretty good, probably only got to the mid 40s at night. So it was nice. It was just cool enough to sleep good, but not cold enough where you freeze or anything like that. Or getting up this morning, it was pretty easy getting up. It wasn't that cold. So that's nice. Today we got, I think it's 11.8 to get to Fontana Dam, where we'll stay at the lodge and make our final plans for what we're gonna do with this storm and everything that's coming up with the Smokies. I think, looking at the weather, I think we could probably do it. Plan would be to leave tomorrow on Friday, try to get to the second shelter in the Smokies. It's about 15-ish miles. Then if we can crank another 15 or so out to the shelter right before Klingman's Dome for Saturday, and then on Sunday make it to the Newfound Gap, hopefully by about lunchtime or so. Then we can try to come out, because it's going to get cold Sunday night, it looks like. I mean, there's going to be lots of rain, possible thunderstorms on Saturday, starting Friday night into Saturday, all day Saturday night, and into Sunday, with some heavy winds. So that's the concern, like some really big winds, 50 miles an hour at least. So we're just gonna check on that, see what we want to do there. If we can arrange a way to get out on Sunday from Newfound Gap. Sunday, the temperatures aren't supposed to be bad. I stay in the lows of 40s and 50s at night, but you will have the wind and the rain. But the cold night doesn't come until Sunday night. So that's why if we can get out Sunday, get to a hotel, dry out, and then pop back in on Monday morning. Monday and Tuesday is supposed to be nice. So that will allow us to finish from Newfound Gap to the end on Monday and Tuesday. So if we could do that, I think that'd be a workable plan. So we'll see. See, right now it's a little overcast, but the temperature's nice. And the hike today should not be too bad. I think there's probably one significant climb and then a few little ups and downs. So it should be much better terrain than yesterday, where we did a ton of ups, and there were a few that were, the last one before the shelter was pretty steep, pretty gnarly, but we got it done. So we stayed at the shelter with Noe and Martian and Treehouse, and us five were in the shelter, and then there was a lady camping, and then somebody came in last night about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and camped. So I didn't see him or her this morning, but anyway, so good night last night, and looking forward to a nice little hotel stay today. All right, you look down there, we're doing the climb, the last climb before we have to descend down into Fontana, but you see part of the lake there. We still got some more ups. I think that little up there, and then it's straight down for like 3 miles. So, but we probably got mile and a half of this climb left. I think about a mile, maybe a mile and a half. But there's some little dips in it, like we're doing right now. At that last big road gap, I think it was Yellow whatever gap, I think that's what it was. We ran into Moose Liver. If you remember, she was the one with Bouncer on day one that we ran into. They gave us some trail magic. There was a picture of her. Well, we've run into her, I guess it was maybe Sunday. We ran into her Sunday or Monday. Maybe Monday. And she gave us some soda, some generic cherry soda, which I personally think is better than cherry Coke. It's more of a cherry flavor, less of a Coke flavor. Well, we ran into her again at that gap, and of course, she hooked us up with another cherry soda. So thank you, Moose Liver. Run into her 3 times now. Three times she's hooked us up with Trail Magic. So she's a subscriber from way back during my first through hike back in 2018. So it's good to see her, see the dam, and get to talk to her. Even got to say hi to her aunt. She was on the phone with her aunt. Got to say hi to her aunt. So, yep. So we're making our way here in a little bit, another 30 minutes or so. We should be done with the up and just all down to the lodge. So the sun's trying to peek out. It's coming out a little bit, peeking through some of the clouds. So got a little bit of sunshine. So that's good. But yeah, the climbs haven't been too bad. Most of them were small. This one is the big one. And yeah, it's a climb. But all the climbing we did yesterday, I think, prepared us for today. So today doesn't seem that bad compared to all the climbing we had to do yesterday. So, all right. See, some of the leaves are starting, and the trees are starting to get leaves. That's good. Starting to green up. All right. What's this, Cable Gap shelter, I think? Something like that. This shelter needs some help. The roof is kind of caving in. They got a tarp on it. There's a little water source right there. That's cool. And a privy over there. That's cool. In a storm, I don't know how much that would protect you, but I guess it's better than nothing. Not a bad area. All right, so we got this slow 2.5 mile climb, and then we got about a 3 mile down. So we're about 5.5 from the village, or at least the marina. All right, here we go. All right, here we are. We made it down to Fontana Dam, down to by the marina. Now we're walking the 1 point whatever mile AT trail on the way to the Fontana Hilton, which is the shelter. And then from there, we'll walk to the shelter, and then we'll have to road walk or whatever, hitch or whatever to get up to the lodge. And then in the morning, we'll just have to start back at the shelter, make our way to the shelter, and start hiking the AT from there. So they have a shuttle that runs from the hotel twice a day at 9 and 4. Well, we got there like 1:30. So I wasn't going to sit there 2.5 hours waiting on a shuttle to take us to the hotel. So we figured we get this mile point, well, I think it's like 1.6 or whatever the hell it was, done. So we don't have to do it tomorrow. That's the less we have to do going into the Smokies tomorrow. So we should be able to start from the shelter and then hike the dam and then enter the park and hopefully get to the second shelter. I think it's Russell, either Spence Field or Russell Fields, one of those, whatever the second one is, like mile 181, I think, is what we're trying to get to. So it'll make it like a 14-15 mile day. So not too big of a day, but good sized day. It'll get us deep enough in the Smokies to set us up to get done in 5 days. All right, so I'll come back when we get more to talk about. All right, here we are. Not much to report today, pretty much. We've been hiking for about an hour and a half, and it's just been kind of like this, up and down, little small ups, little small downs, just kind of wavy. So we're doing okay. And then we have a big up right before the big down to Fontana. And in between that, there might be some smaller ups. But yeah, just temperature, everything's pretty much remained the same. So it's comfortable. And just thinking about, being able to take a nice hot shower, clean some of this grime off from yesterday. Lots of sweating yesterday, climbing all those peaks and stuff. But yeah, that's that. So if we see anything interesting, we'll show it to you. Champagne of beers. There's the shelter, the AKA Fontana Hilton, they call it. It's got solar chargers. Up this way you can go and take a shower. There's like a little shower house. Trash cans, all that good stuff. There you go. All right, here we are doing like a 2.7 mile road walk to the lodge. And here comes somebody, maybe we can hitch a ride. So 1 3/4 miles will be there. Yeah. As long as it's downhill like that, that'd be cool. Tomorrow morning we'll take the little lodge shuttle back to where we finished today, which was just past the shelter. And as we got past the shelter by the picnic areas there was a AT thru hiker from last year cooking chili dogs for Trail Magic. So Chill Guy and I stopped and each had 3 chili dogs, right? I had a couple oranges with it, a soda, packed out a couple Snickers bars. So that was good. So we're fueled up, ready to go get our hotel room, take a shower / bath if we can. We got to stop by the general store, just resupply real quick. And then tonight we'll eat at the restaurant in the lodge and get ready to hit the Smokies in the morning.